Hello and welcome to the Dojo Live recap show this Monday, April 3rd, 2023. I cannot believe it's April already, but it's my birthday month, so I'm excited about that. Maybe. 41. I know. I'm moving up on the fourth floor here. Perfect.
One more year in this world.
One more year. Yeah, in that sense, you cannot complain. That is for sure. So hello all, my name is Kim Lantis. I am host here at Dojo Live along with America Guerrero. She's joining me today to talk about last week's great shows as a way to incentivize you to watch them if you hadn't already. You can catch our shows on our website, dojo.live. And of course, we're going to introduce the two awesome shows we've got coming up this week. So let's talk about last week first. So last week we got to speak with Luca Zambello, who is the CEO of Jurny, as well as Paige Wilson, who is the founder and CEO of Naborforce. So up first with Luca, he talked all about conversing with the future and unveiling the secrets of artificial intelligence. Very timely, very trendy right now, and really looking at how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the way we communicate, work, and live in the 21st century. So what were some of your takeaways from Luca's show, America?
It is fascinating. Jurny is an automation platform. If you haven't had the chance to watch the show, they have a software that allows Airbnb and hotel owners to fully automate the guest experience and operations like check-in, check-out, access control systems, guest certification systems, pricing. And I remember that there is also this option that you can have the key on your cell phone so you can open the door. It is fascinating, but related to the topic of the show, what I really like about Luca is when he shared that AI is here to stay. It is our new reality, and how this tech is going to create a lot of other jobs for those who know how to leverage AI. It's something really interesting, and it's something that not everybody is accepting. And he gave some advices.
Yeah, I think some really great advice. And you bring up a good point. I think with any new movements, I think Luca also brought up the idea of the Industrial Revolution, which is something that was brought up also by Amit Govern of Cuvilla a week prior to that, right? This idea of there's this big shift with artificial intelligence, liking it to the Industrial Revolution. And this idea that, sure, with any new technology, anything new that comes along, some jobs might be replaced and then other jobs created. And I think you brought up this good point with Luca in particular. He focused a lot on this idea of awareness, educating, getting comfortable with things, exploring, having fun, thinking outside the box in ways that we can use artificial intelligence, particularly ChatGPT, right? And this idea of what can it do for me? How can it make my job easier? How can it help me innovate in where I am? I think he even talked about this idea of innovating for like butchers, right? Something that you might not even think would be possible. And my key takeaway was really this focus on getting better at prompt engineering, right? Like with anything, garbage in, garbage out. So the more information and the more specific we can be with this AI in terms of creating content for us or providing information or details or ideas to us, the better it will be able to produce that for us. So prompt engineering is something, a skill, I think a skill set that all of us, regardless of the vertical in which we're in, should look into and get better at. That's a big keyword these days. Perfect. So our second show of last week was with Paige Wilson, founder and CEO of Naborforce. And they're using technology to foster human connection and solve part of this country's and eventually, hopefully, the world's aging crisis, because it's not specific only to the United States. And she really spoke about how technology is leveraging the strength of community to address the nation's unprecedented age wave. What were your takeaways from Paige's show? Oh, I think you're on mute.
That I said that I think that Paige show was one of my favorites, actually. Naborforce is a tech platform for adults who I think that are over 60 years old, who need a little bits of pieces of help. What they basically do is that they build this community between these people and neighbors, people who want to help these specific older adults. So they selected with criteria. It's not like anybody could be a neighbor. There is like a whole system, and I think that it's really something cool during this aging crisis. That's something that Paige explained during the show. Do you remember, Kim, that is specific uh, point that by 2035 there are going to be more older adults that are over 60 years old than
Or
young.
65 something.
Yeah, something like that. It's something huge that I didn't imagine. So
Yeah,
it's
I
really
mean, first
interesting.
of all, Paige blew me away. The lady was like an encyclopedia, full of statistics and full of knowledge. I was like, wow, she really knows what she's doing in her vertical, which was great. And she's right. So more and more people, more percentage of the population is getting older. And so there's this idea. What I really loved was the story, the origin story of Naborforce, which was a really personal one with Paige and her mother, as her mother was aging. And really this niche is for those people who are in between, right? They're older, but they still have quite a bit of independence, right? And so they're not in need of, facilities or hospitalization or anything like that, but maybe just need some help with simple things like taking out the trash or,
Technology,
mowing the lawn or just,
devices.
playing a game of cribbage, right? And so it's great. And so what really brought this home for me, the origin story was very personal. And I think what's really awesome about this is that story even persisted after it was no longer necessary for Paige as an individual. I think she's creating something really special. And what really brought this home for me was this analogy of sort of like this Uber kind of connectivity, right? So it's a network of neighbors. It might not always be the same neighbor, but you have something done, you put in that request, and you're connected. And it also made a lot of sense in the sense that this is a job, right? People are getting paid for this, but there is definitely a certain profile, a certain purpose and heart of the individuals who participate as neighbors. It's just really neat. So if you yourself, or if you have someone who sort of falls into that niche, or if you're interested in having this like flexible part-time job and to help somebody out, definitely check out Naborforce as a way to leverage technology to create that human connection. Really, really cool show. All right, so that was the 2 shows of last week. We've got 2 more shows coming up this week, also on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. What do we got?
Yes, so on Wednesday, we're going to have a conversation with Chris Harrington, CEO at the company Gen Alpha Technologies. The topic is going to be about digital self-service for manufacturers, adapt or risk being left behind. How can digital self-service solutions can manufacturers streamline their customer support operations and reduce costs? It's going to be a really interesting conversation that will happen on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
And also really timely in a different way,
Yeah.
right? With just all of the oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart this morning. It is Monday. Supply chain issues that we're having of late, right?
Yeah. And on Thursday, we're going to have another conversation with Mahesh Baxi, co-founder and CEO of the company Provius Inc. The topic is going to be about the future of services quoting using AI to maximize revenue. How can service companies simplify selling with AI and automation? At 10 a.m. Pacific, we're going to have it. Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's going to be fun too, because I think service companies, talking about what Luca was talking about, maybe it's not that type of vertical where you'd expect technology to make a big impact, but here we are. All right, very good. Well, I will see you, America, on Wednesday, and you Dojo Live viewers as well, 10 o'clock Pacific. Until then, stay safe. Of course, check out our site, dojo.live, all of our social media as well, to keep up to date and watch some of your past shows that are really great ones as well.